Hello and welcome. I'm Peter, joined by,
I'm Keith, also known as uGkyI5c.
and today we are doing a first of podcast, and we named it Back to the
Back to the
Lab.
lab.
Back to the Lab. That's right. As cheesy as it is, I think we both like Back to the Future, and many of us
it's pretty good.
really like. Yeah, many of us really like to spend most of our time in the lab. Makes basically just getting stuck in the combo vortex, right?
Oh god, it happens every single time.
The combo vortex.
I guess
So,
since this is the first episode, I guess we should introduce ourselves more, right? Because in case someone doesn't know who we are.
Yeah, sure. Why don't you go first?
Okay, so I'm a Noctis and Devil Jin main, mainly Noctis, but I've been making content for Tekken for about roughly a year. And I've just been doing tutorials and character guides and stuff. And yeah, that's actually literally it. That's
When did you actually start? I'm curious.
January of 2019. Oh, start playing
January?
the game?
No. Start making
Oh,
content.
start making content? Yeah, January of 2019.
Oh, January? Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm Peter, and I started making YouTube content, I believe, in March of last year. So in 1 month time, it'll be exactly about 1 year since I started creating content, and I
Nice.
started making obviously Brian content, as you can tell by
Oh.
the banners. I do play some secondaries like Fang, Kazumi, and
No,
Jack.
you have to be a strictly Brian main.
You know what, Kate? I think the main thing that I really like is that you say that you're mostly a Noctis main, and for your
Yeah, my image is
thumbnail, for your
Devil Jin.
thumbnail, the image is Double Chin.
I'm Devil Jin. Look, man, I had to pick a legacy character that was gonna last. All right, Devil Jin's not gonna make it to the next. Oh, sorry, Noctis is not gonna make it to the next game. I gotta take Devil Jin. You know.
Or
But I-
or the other story is you didn't want people to not click your video, so you decided to pick Double Chin because nobody likes Noctis.
Nobody likes Noctis. No. Look, I have the most fun with Devil Jin, but I perform better with Noctis. So when I want to win, I play Noctis.
Yeah,
That's how
I
it
would
is.
I would prefer Noctis too if I just had to press the 2-2-2 button with no quarter circle forwards, no quarter circle backs.
Very easy. No execution needed.
Do you even have a forward input?
Yeah, 4-4-1+2. That's his best move, man.
No, but no 4-4-2.
4-4-2? No, he has no 4-4-2.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, man, I played Devil Jin. I got some Mishima skills. All right.
All right.
That's I guess we can jump straight into the topics, right?
Sure. So,
Yeah.
Evo Japan.
Oh my god. Oh,
I'm not
what a
gonna lie.
disaster.
I told you. Okay, so I told you I was gonna watch the whole top 8 and then be ready to talk about this, but I couldn't. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I watched.
No.
I watched. Okay, so what I did watch was the game, the grand finals, right?
Uh-huh.
I watched grand finals, and Book. You know, I've
Dude,
never seen.
Book
I've
was-
never seen Book so disappointed in a win.
When he said just pick Leroy, you could feel his heart drop. He was like, man, what have I done? You know? It was such a disaster. Because I was in Australia when this happened.
Yeah.
And when Evo Japan happened, and basically I even tweeted like, oh no, I didn't tweet, but I said in my Discord server that like the day before, I was like, I have faith that there's going to be more diversity than just everyone playing Leroy. I tune into the stream, the first game's a Leroy mirror, and I'm like, fuck, shit, what happened? You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, they messed up. And then in the end, we had 6 Leroys in top 8, which is pretty ridiculous. I don't think I've seen any other domination like that from any character.
Not even during the era of season 1 where it was Jack and Dragunov.
No, there's no such. Even in previous games, like Lars or Bob, I don't think even them had
No,
such
wait a second. Bob
domination.
wasn't Bob in Tekken 6 like
6.
everywhere?
But I
And-
think there was never like 6 of them in top 8. There was like usually maybe 2, but there's a that make it into top 8. Or at least that's what Aris said, I think.
Yeah.
So
Like when you have
yeah,
75% of top 8 with one character, you know there's a
you know you
balancing
messed up. Yeah,
problem.
that's a real issue. And Ulsan Ulsan comes in during the intro. He puts up his phone. He's like, "Kill Leroy" and whatnot. And then everyone's like hailing him as the Leroy killer. But dude, this guy plays Kazumi. Like that's not that much better. There was a time when everyone was playing Kazumi too.
You know what? I actually think Kazumi is more balanced in season 3. Because
Yeah, she's pretty balanced.
yeah, I definitely think so. Because with Kazumi, like she 1-1, right? It used to be -1. That's
And her downfall one used to be -1 as well, but
yeah.
that was changed. Those were changed in season 2. Yeah,
Right, but I'm still thinking that she's, more evenly balanced now.
she's way more evenly balanced now
Yeah.
for sure. Season 1 was pretty crazy. Kazumi.
Season 1, yeah. Because like
Yeah.
1-1 being something that has an extension at the end and that you're -1, like you can basically do whatever the crap you want. Like you could do 1-1 into Magic 4 if you wanted to.
Her downfall one is crazy strong as well. It still is as well. Yeah, but Leroy is crazy. There's a whole list of issues with that character.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, watching all of those top players get eliminated was quite upsetting though.
My heart broke when Jimmy got eliminated.
Of course, you Brian players.
Of course! Who doesn't want to see Jimmy win?
The only Leroy player I really like is JDCR. I can't root against JDCR. That guy's too
You know what?
charismatic.
To be honest, I think the best Leroy player there was Chikarin.
Really?
Yeah, I actually think
Wow.
Chikarin was probably the best.
Chikarin's the kind of guy who picks the top tiers every time. Well, he went to Geese, and then he went to Akuma, and now Leroy.
I mean, despite what people think, I actually still think that Geese is still very powerful, and so is Akuma.
He
Despite
is. But
despite the nerfs. Like, you make
Yeah.
one mistake when he has bar, you can get
oh, you're
deleted.
dead.
You can get deleted straight
Yeah.
up.
He has a harder time getting damage in now, but when he does get the damage in, you're most likely dead. I think that's how they they basically try to balance him.
Right.
They were like, yeah, just don't let him touch you, and you're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the hero of the entire story was freaking Mikio with his Julia. This dude was insane. He performed crazy well, and it was insane seeing him take down all these people.
Yeah.
Because I have never heard of this guy. I don't know if you have,
No,
but
I
I've
have
never
not.
heard of. And then he just suddenly comes out with his Julia, and he's supposed to be like a super good player in Japan. So it's quite weird that I've never heard of this guy. Maybe he just doesn't enter tournaments.
Could be. Also, like, when was the last time you saw a Julia in top 8 in any tournament?
True. I think Julia is a really strong character. But
Same thing with Bob, too.
She's locked behind an execution barrier. She is super hard to play. But I think she's super strong. I
So
think
the thing
I could
with-
put her in top 10, you know?
So the thing with Julia is that she has so much wall carry that you need to
Oh my
actually know
God.
when to cut back on the wall carry, right? Because
Yeah.
I believe she can basically carry wall to wall at any stage.
Almost every
And-
stage, yeah, she
yeah.
can.
So the one thing that Julia players have to keep in mind is how close the wall is going to be. So when do they actually go for,
The screw,
when do they go for the screw? Because the screw is going to dictate how soon you can actually
Because they only have
do-
one ender, which is wall running 2-1.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
if they mess up the timing, and then they're not gonna get the wall combo, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ulsan pulled out the Bob, which I was quite surprised by. I think he beat Chikurin actually, right? Did he beat Chikurin? He beat Chikurin with Bob? Well, he beat a Leroy player with Bob. I just don't know who
Yeah.
it is.
He okay. There's 6 Leroys. You're not gonna be wrong about that.
That's true. You must have seen like the funny clip all over Twitter that day though, where Mikio thought he won.
Oh yeah.
That clip is devastating to watch. I watched that and my heart sank for him, dude. He was so happy. And
I mean,
then-
this is not the first time though. This is not the first time that somebody thought they won and was elated, right?
I don't remember if it was grand finals or winners finals, but God, he stood up and and his face, the camera zooms in on his face and he goes, "Huh? What the fuck do you mean I have to play them one more time?"
But here's the other side to it. When you're playing tournaments for that long, I think you do lose track of one, what time it is, two, like what's going on, like where in the stages. It gets kind of confusing sometimes, especially you don't know like what set you're even on.
Right.
Because in the grand finals, it's best 3 of 5, right? So
Yes, grand finals and winners finals. Wait, grand finals and is it?
or best
Yeah,
of
grand
3.
finals and winners finals.
Yeah.
And losers finals as well, I believe. So basically
Yeah,
all the
losers.
finals.
Yeah. Once you get to top 8, it's all
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. So man, watching that was so upsetting, and he got destroyed the next 2 games too. So he lost.
I wonder if it was part of it in his head that
It was the
you know,
momentum. He lost the momentum.
Yeah.
And that's super devastating because in a tournament, if you have the momentum, you can keep going. But once you get disrupted, that's why I always say, like, if someone hits the pause button, DQ, man, just DQ.
Yeah. Take it. Yeah. Take it. Unless I guess
So-
if you're in grand finals, because then that's kind of a scummy
Yeah.
grand finals win, and then you just feel bad
You can't
about yourself.
even feel,
You
can't even feel good about winning bad.
You're like, oh, so how did you win? Well, the other guy.
My opponent got DQ'd.
My opponent got DQ'd, so I automatically win.
That's such a shameful way to win, honestly.
And then
Yeah.
you could never show yourself in the Tekken public again, and you'd have to win another Evo.
Yes, absolutely. Man, that's how they got in on Rip, you know. Rip won the grand finals with the home button, right? Did he?
Oh, was that what it was?
I think it was. I don't remember,
think I
but it
followed.
might
Was
have
this
been.
Tekken 6? Or what was this?
It was either 6 or 5. I don't remember. It was
Okay.
definitely around that time.
I didn't really
so-
follow Tekken that early on.
No, neither did I. But I try to learn some of the lore.
The lore.
So not too long after Evo Japan, they actually dropped the balance patch, so to speak. It's not really much of a balance patch. So a lot of people were expecting some changes to many characters, but a few characters got like maybe one move changed, and then they got a whole list of Leroy nerfs, which
Well, they also had a bunch of little tiny bug fixes, which I didn't even catch on to most of the bugs.
no, I didn't get any bugs as well, but I guess they fixed it. But then they also came up with a whole list of Leroy nerfs that the community was pretty outraged about because of the fact that they're not enough.
No, it
No.
wasn't.
I saw the nerf list like a few hours after it came out, and I was like, they didn't do shit. This character is still pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
The
So
main thing
did you want to start with the changes then? Start.
oh yeah,
from
we can
the
go.
first-
We can do
yeah.
the changes. The
Yeah, we
main
can start
thing I
with the
think
firstly change.
the main thing I think people complain about that they did change was the orbital heal. It was -3 on block, and now they've made it -8, which actually is harsher than what I expected. I would have been fine with -6, you know. -8 is pretty rough. But
Well, let's be fair.
you're a Brian player. You have an orbital to defend, you know.
No. Just okay. So let me put it this way: Shaheen has an orbital heal. Lars
Sort
has an
of.
orbital heal.
Yes.
Like, I mean, these are they're orbitals nonetheless, right?
Yeah.
So I think for Leroy, the fact is he's not supposed to play like Brian, right? The reason why Brian's orbital is at -5 is because Brian is meant to be played at like range 1.5 to 8, where he is allowed to, use this move.
Right.
And not to mention, like Brian doesn't have a move like Leroy's up forward 3+4, right? To crush lows like that, because technically Leroy could do that to crush lows, up forward 3+4 to crush lows.
It's a wall splitting move, you know.
Yeah,
it works.
I mean, it looks like Law's thing, so
yeah, sort of, yeah,
sort of. But that's why I think Brian has his at -5, and where Leroy doesn't get a -5 or a -6, because he's not really meant to be played as a keep out character, and to give him -5 or -6 on it just feels really weird, because now he can play keep out if he wants to, which doesn't vibe with his character style.
He can basically play any sort of style he wants in a lot of ways, because he's very complete.
Yeah.
And I guess giving him that orbital being the reason why I thought -8 is pretty harsh is actually because his orbital is way easier to whiff punish than something like Brian's or Lars. So I'm like, it's okay being like it's okay having the speed that it is, because it is faster than Brian's and Lars, right? It's like 4 frames faster, but it's also easier to whiff punish, which is why I'm okay with it being like -6. But they gave it -8, like, whew. That's pretty rough.
I don't think that's unreasonable, considering that
I don't think it's unreasonable.
It's still safe. It's still safe.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Like, after I throw out an orbital as Brian, I'm not exactly throwing out buttons, nor am I really sidestepping at that point in time.
No, -5 is hard to sidestep.
So in that sense, -5 and -8, if you want to think about it in terms of
it's
options,
not a huge deal.
It's not that big of a game breaker.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I can think of other examples on where I might want to press buttons, but generally speaking, you don't really want to press when you're at that.
No.
Like the most minus I would want to press at is like -4. That's it to challenge.
Right.
And even then, I'm just like either pressing a dick jab or I'm doing a standing jab. That's it.
Right. They also nerfed his cane, which is something I didn't see coming. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
My thoughts on the cane was either delete this move or make it a rage drive and take out his other rage drive, because his current rage drive sucks, you know. But
why does his current rage drive suck?
It's just any other like whatever pushing back wall splat rage drive, and not only that, it's hard to use in a combo as well because of the wall hit. So you can't really get a full wall combo because of the way they slump down already. So I think his current rage drive sucks. Its range is not even that exceptional either, so it's whatever. I think they should have just made the cane his rage drive, because it's basically a free rage drive. But they made this from +8 to -7, which is a huge change. Because I saw on Twitter like someone using Yoshi could flash that shit, so it's pretty.
But this is okay. So the way that I see this whole cane nerf thing is, this +8 only really applies in the corner when you're at the wall, because out in the open -7 doesn't mean anything because of how much pushback there is, right?
I guess, yeah.
But you know, granted, they decrease the distance on the first hit. Like if you want to think about it in terms of Brian's like 3+4, that's -13, and it pushes the opponent back. But you're not necessarily safe to do anything after that, because Brian can do a lot of things in order to stuff you out, because you have to press forward in order to close the space.
Yeah, and then you have to do your move on top of that.
And then you have to do your move on top of wasting your frames, your advantage frames to get in. So with this cane nerf, I really don't think this cane nerf means anything outside of against the wall.
I thought on block it was pretty close though. Like it left them pretty close because of the weird knockdown animation it had. It knocked the opponent down, but they stood up immediately. But that weird animation made them recover like close to Leroy. So I thought it was still pretty strong. Like you really couldn't do anything after that, which is pretty insane.
Yeah.
What's more worrying though is that they didn't nerf any tracking, which is what I'm pissed about.
Yeah, the second or last hit is tracking.
The second hit tracks a lot. You can't step that shit. And 4422, same thing. They didn't nerf the tracking. They didn't nerf the damage of 4422, but tracking is still there. They nerfed his combo damage, so they nerfed down 2-4, the damage of it, such that
It
if you
doesn't
do
scale
the
as well.
yeah, it doesn't scale as much basically, and they nerfed down back 1-3, which is a staple move in his combos, right? Because you have to use that after almost every launch. So his combo damage is pretty much it's still pretty high. I think it still hits 70 like easy, without
What was
walls.
it before? It's like 76.
It was like 77, or if you did I think it was like 77
Yeah. Okay.
off the orbital heal. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, it's nerfed by like 7 damage. So they tuned it down a little bit, which I guess is fine. uh, the downback one I thought was a really cheap move, and they did nerf the downback 1/1+2. It used to be safe. It's a high mid that is safe with the wall splats as well, which is so messed up. That move was so messed up. I can't believe that was safe. But they made it only -10, which is I think that's nothing. Yeah, that should be -13. I think it's
if you're not playing Mishimas, you're not playing Josie, and you're not playing Gigas. Like, you're not getting a good punish.
Yeah, -10 is ridiculous. I can't believe they thought that was good. They made it easier to punish.
I think they thought it was good. I'm sure they thought it was good.
Yes. Did you see the new hit animation though for up forward 3+4 1+2? It looks weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of it. But then at the same time, remember when Jin got his forward 4 nerfed, where the opponent used to stumble back 1 step, and then now it looks like the opponent's slipping on banana peels?
Yeah, fuck, they go so they like whoa, all the way back, dude. Yeah, I think that should be -13, down back 1/1+2. I think they nerfed back 3 as well, which is his high safe launcher, which is like, I think that was a good whiff punisher.
The twirling thing.
Yeah, the immediate screw one. I thought that was I don't really think that needed to be changed. 2 damage isn't really anything as well. But
2 damage is nothing on a move like that.
No.
Especially because that move's going to be used either almost immediately.
Yes.
Or it's going to be used as the first move, in which case your 2 damage is absolutely nothing.
No, yeah, it's not anything.
Because the second hit of a combo is going to be scaled at 70%.
Yep.
So
yep.
It's literally shaving off like 2 damage.
Yeah. So the down forward 3 nerf increase the distance between the character and the opponent when the move hits when they are down. I initially didn't understand that, but
this is
then
for the pickup.
It's for the pickup for 4-4-3, his homing move. So you can no longer get a combo off of that, which thank God. I can't believe you could get a combo off of that. That move is crazy, dude. And they didn't even change it.
This is what I thought they were going to do with 4-4-3, right? 4-4-3 can be equated to Brian's mock kick, which is Brian's 4-4-4.
Except
mock
it's plus.
Right. And neutral. Or neutral, right? You're either neutral or you're +6 or plus...
Yeah, it's plus...
Whatever. At tip range, it's like +6, and then at close up, it's 0, right? And Brian's mock kick, regardless of distance, is either -10 or -9. Sure,
right.
At certain ranges, you're not going to be able to get a dick jab to punish it, but certain ranges, you are. And yeah, it puts the opponent into crouch, but you're still -10. You're not going to press buttons.
No, you're not.
So, no, you're not. So with Leroy's 4-4-3, it's the same. It's a high, it's a homing move, and it comes out pretty quickly. But it's 0 to +6.
It's +1 to +6.
Or sorry, +1 to +6.
Yeah.
My bad. +1 to +6.
I actually thought they were gonna make that like, -3 to +3, depending on range, but they didn't change that at all.
Why? Just make that shit -9. Just make that shit -9.
I can, but
okay, fine.
I guess.
How about this? Just make it -5. I think -5 would be very fair for that move.
That's all right. Yeah, I guess.
Like, are you really going to duck a Leroy at range 2 to try to avoid this move? Because if you do, you get nailed by 4-4-2-2, right?
Oh yeah, 4-4-2. I forgot about 4-4-2 too.
They hit the same range. They're at the same exact range.
Nah, 443 has way more range than 4422, right?
No, but like you can cover the same range. Like if
Oh,
you're playing at range
the
two,
dash. Like,
yeah.
the
If
dash can cover it.
if you're playing at range two, you can throw out 442, or you can throw out 443. Either
Mm-hmm.
way, you're covering the same amount of space.
Right. So
So
something I
you don't
noticed
really, yeah.
about 4422, now that you mention it, is that actually they reduce the damage, but what I found more interesting is that it's, I don't know if this is a stealth nerf or either I'm blind, but it seems like the pushback is reduced. Like, uh before there was ranges where you can't really punish that move because the pushback made it basically impossible to even get your 12 or even 13 frame punish in. But I really tested it. Like, I kept trying and trying and trying, but I couldn't get that range anymore. I don't know if it was a stealth nerf for the pushback on block, but I couldn't get it to be at that range anymore. So maybe they stealth nerfed it. I don't know, but thank God. that was one of the most like messed up things about that move. The tracking and the pushback. Those were the two main like buggers
Yeah.
that really made it tough. So
Well,
yeah.
I think any move that has a forward input because of the realign is going to make it just try.
Yeah. It's also the
better
same
than you
reason
think.
why a dash electric is unsteppable. Cause
Yeah.
the 4/4 realigns.
Like unless you're stepping during the electric phase where they're doing the forward into crouch.
Yeah.
Or sorry, yeah, you're doing
Yeah.
forward
If
into
they
the crouch dash.
if they do a dash electric, it's unsteppable. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so I guess that's about it for the changes. It's not a huge list of changes. And
You
some
know
of
what
the
I was
moves
surprised that they didn't actually nerf?
is it
Back
down
1+2. That move, I'm
back 1+2? Is it
surprised.
the parry?
And down 1+2. No, back 1+2
back
is
1+2?
that short 12 frame counter hit move.
Oh, okay, I remember back 1+2 now.
So
I
back
remember.
1+2, I'm surprised they didn't nerf down
Is the- is-
1+2.
Is the 12 frame counter hit launcher, right?
Yeah,
that move is
12.
That move is crazy.
Yeah.
I remember when I first used Leroy, I was like, this seems like a shitty move. Like, the range is so shit. But,
why would you use this move?
yeah, why would you use it? It's so good. What the heck? That move is crazy. You know, Mikio refused to use Party Crasher against Leroy because of back 1+2. Back 1+2 was like, he used Party Crasher like once, and then he got counter hit. And then he stopped using Party Crasher after that. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
It was crazy. That move is insane. It gains more range if your opponent pushes a button. It's basically like Lee's back four, or whatever.
Yeah. The back four into Hitman.
Yeah. So yeah, that move is insane. Yeah, and down, like you mentioned, down 1+2 is another crazy one that they didn't change. That move is fucked up. That move is
Down
so
1+2?
messed up.
Yeah, that's messed up.
I can't. I'm okay with it being neutral, but it has to not force crouch. There's no way in hell that should force crouch. And if it is gonna force crouch, it should be minus.
It being neutral.
I'm okay with it being neutral if it doesn't force crouch. Oh, oh no! Did I anger
Those are
someone?
some crazy words, but I think it should be like -2
That's and not force crouch, right?
and not force crouch. -2, not force crouch. I think
So-
that would be fair.
My idea was down 1+2, either neutral and not force crouch, or force crouch but -5. That was my thinking.
Force crouch -5. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I prefer not force crouch, and neutral, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I can see your logic behind it because Brian's back one, right? Back one
Brian's back
is
one. Oh,
basically
yeah.
So Brian's back one is his giant
Yeah.
chopping elbow, right? So
Right.
that's 20. I want to say 20 to 21 frames to come out. 20 to 21 frames to come out, and it's +4 on block.
+4.
Right. This
Leroy's is 17 frames. Yeah.
Right, 17 frames. So you're shaving off 4 frames of it.
I actually didn't even think of it that way, but I guess in my head I just like somehow did the math. But yeah.
So that's, and Brian's doesn't force crouch, unless it's
No,
on
it doesn't.
hit.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
So yeah, Brian gets +4 frames, but also it's 4 frames slower.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. This move is just
This move is crazy.
yeah. I think it needs to be like minus two, and then not force crouch.
I think
Or if
its
you
force crouch property is what makes it so spammable though, because you can't step that shit if you're on player
depending on what,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's basically like Dragunov's down 2 in season 1, you know? It's not really about the -1 or the neutral that people made a big fuss about. It's the force crouch property that was the big deal. And removing that was that was what made that move so oppressive, you know? Because basically
when you're force crouched in that situation, you only have like 3 options, right? Unless you want to go crazy YOLO. Like your only option is either dick jab while standing 4, or crouch
step.
cancel.
Yeah, so that's your only options, and that's what makes it super suffocating when you're playing against a Leroy as well, because they can just do down 1+2. You can either try to challenge, but then they can do some shit like a 1-1, which is gonna counter hit and wall splat you, or they can do another down 1+2, you know, and that's the messed up part, and that's why I'm so shocked. I was super shocked initially, and when I saw that this move wasn't on the change list.
You want to think about it this way. How often have you seen in a tournament where a Brian player gets to do a back 1 into another back 1? Like, you're rarely...
I don't see many Brian plays to begin with.
Okay, but in tournaments, though.
Yeah,
in tournament settings,
not
you're
often.
rarely going to see... You're rarely going to see a Brian
well,
do a back
they usually
1 into
do
a
back 1
1
into down forward 2, right? So, yeah, not often.
I mean, they'll do back 1 into hatchet, or back 1 into nothing, or back 1 into down forward 2
down
for a
forward
check.
1, down forward 2, yeah.
Yeah, so those types of things. But a Leroy, you see down 1+2 into down 1+2, and nobody wants to press a button.
No, yeah, nobody wants to press a button.
That should give you an idea of how strong this move is, because in Brian's case, because the way that I see Leroy is that he's a character that has a giant compendium of other characters' moves, right?
And he makes them the best version as well.
Right. He makes them the best version as well. So that I compare down 1+2 to Brian's back 1. And if you're not really seeing Brian players in a tournament setting doing like back 1 into back 1 because of, one, how steppable it is, and whereas Leroy's case, you have down 1+2 into down 1+2. Like I saw it quite a bit in the top 8 tournaments.
Yeah, it happened a lot. Many down 1+2s, yeah.
So I think that's why this move should get some sort of a nerf. And I'm sure Bandai Namco is going to address it in their second round or something.
Yeah.
But then what was the other? I forget. My limited brain capacity forgot. What was the other move we were talking about? Oh, back 1+2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Back 1+2. I had the same initial thoughts as you when I saw this. I'm like, wow. I guess Leroy doesn't have a Magic 4, so back 1+2 is in.
I thought it was a shitty move at first.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it ended up being like one of his top moves, which I was pretty shocked by.
I think this is, if you want to compare it to a Magic 4, this is the Magic 4, but as you know, there's quite a bit of characters who have a hard Magic 4 combo, right? Asuka has a hard Magic 4 combo.
I wonder who.
Brian has a hard Magic 4 combo.
Hella hard, yeah.
Yeah. And then who else has a hard Magic 4 combo? I think Leo's is semi-hard. You also have to do a dash jab afterwards. But basically any character that has to do some sort of a dash animation or connect a rather hard attack for Magic 4. But this move, if you consider the range also that Leroy wants to play at, he wants to play at like range 1, roughly.
He can play at any range, to be honest.
He can play at any range, but I think he's best probably played at range 1. Something.
He's very oppressive, so yeah, I guess that's true.
So if he wants to play at range 1, back 1+2 is a fantastic Magic 4 button.
Right. And it's hella hard to whiff punish too, because that shit recovers hella fast. And
yeah, I believe it does recover pretty quickly.
It recovers super fast. I think
like now that I think about it, back 1+2 has almost the exact same frame data as Brian's Magic 4. 12 frames.
Is Brian's Magic 4 12?
Yeah,
frames?
Brian's Magic
Oh.
4. Dude, I wish he had a 11 frame Magic 4.
I thought it was
I'd
11.
fucking spam the shit out of that thing. No. Like, Brian's Magic 4 is 12 frames minus 5 plus 6, right? Minus 5 on hit plus 6 on hit. Or sorry, minus 5 on
minus
block.
5 on block.
Plus
Yeah,
6.
okay, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. And Leroy's is back 1 plus 2. And that thing, it's the same frame data.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Except his is a.
I mean, but this
mid.
is
His
yeah.
is a mid. Oh yeah, I
It's the
forgot it
mid.
was a mid.
Oh my god, yeah, that's right. It's a fucking mid.
I completely blanked out. I was like, oh, yeah, it's like a Magic 4. Oh wait, it's a mid. That's right. That's why it's so messed up as well.
Yeah, so if you're ever at -2 and you try to like do a dick jab, you're gonna get
Oh,
fucking
you're
counter
gonna
hit
trade,
with,
and then he's gonna win the trade.
he's gonna win the trade every single time.
Yeah.
Clean.
And I remember I wrote down when I wrote down my proposed nerfs, I didn't really think about back 1+2 too much. I only said like, oh, change from 12 frames to 14 frames. Now that I think about it, probably should make that also slightly worse than that. I think making that 14 frames or 15 frames would be pretty fair though.
If you want it, keep it at 12 frames. What you're gonna have to do, I think, is increase the whiff recovery, right?
I think
Increase
that
the
has to
whiff
be done
recovery.
regardless. Even if you make it slower. Cause that really does recover hella fast. You really can't punish it. It's super hard. So I think you have to make it slower and make it harder to make it easier to whiff punish as well. I'm okay
So
with the
what,
block
make it
frame
like
data.
-13.
No, I'm okay with the block.
I13. I13.
Oh yeah, I13 or
Startup.
I14. I'm okay with I14. I prefer I14. But then it also has to be easier to recover. Easier to whiff punish. But I'm okay with it staying at what is it -5 on block?
-5 on block. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Like I'm perfectly fine with that. I know some people who want it to be like -9 or some shit. I think that's a bit rough.
-9 is super rough.
Yeah, that's
Like
hella-
it's yeah. -5, -9 is super rough to deal with.
yeah. That's back 1+2. I think that move is crazy. I didn't even think much about that move to begin with. I ended up being super good. They didn't nerf his hell sweep. I'm okay with this hell sweep except for the tracking. That shit tracks both. It might as well be homing, you know. It's basically a homing hell sweep.
Yeah, sure.
And 1-1. Oh my god. 1-1. 1-1 is so messed up. Dude.
I don't think 1-1 got a change to it.
No, it didn't get a change. That 1-1 is crazy. I can't believe. I believe 1-1 was the winning move as well. Because Book did a 1 jab into 1 jab. And then Mikio decided to push a button. And then he did 1-1 confirm into 1+2 1. And then wall splat and then 1. That was the winning move. This move is crazy.
Okay, so what would you rather have? What would you rather make 1-1? High?
Okay, I know exactly how to change this. I already.
Oh, you know exactly.
I wrote this
Okay,
down.
All right, Bandai Namco,
Okay,
listen up.
So
Listen up. Keith knows the answer to this.
So the way it is now is it's a full natural string if the first hit is a counter hit or the second hit lands as a normal hit, right? I think they should move that 1 space back. They should make the second hit land as a counter hit or the third hit land as a normal hit for it to be natural. I think making it fully natural combo from the first hit as a counter hit is so messed up.
Okay.
I think the second hit should be it should only be natural on the second counter hit or the third hit being normal hit. That's how I think it should be. I think you don't really need to make 1-1 it's like a high. That's probably not a big deal. It would be nice if it didn't jail also. It doesn't jail. No, it doesn't jail. 1-1 plus. Wait, what am I talking about? It's a mid. Second hit's a mid.
What?
Yeah. So you can duck the third hit, but I think that wasn't really the. It's still hard to punish because of the weird lingering hitbox.
Yes.
So
you
maybe
need to do a full crouch move that.
Optimally, a full crouch move if you have one. If not, you have to time it well, I guess. And I also think that the third part, the 1+2 part, should be minus 13. It should not be minus 10. I think minus 10 is pretty whatever. So that's my
111 plus
change.
2.
Yeah, 111 plus 2 should be minus 13. Last hit being launch punishable, that's fine. It should only be
I don't
natural.
think it should be minus. I actually
You don't
wanna
think it
say
should be minus 13?
like, I think it should be minus 12.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, minus 12 is fine as well. And then I think the second hit, it can only be a natural string if the second hit connects on counter hit or the third hit connects as a normal hit. Those
are good changes. I think that's a good change that the second hit has to be counter hit.
Yeah. That's my thoughts. I think can you imagine getting that much off of a counter hit jab? That's
No.
Yeah.
No.
What does any other character have something like
yes,
that?
Yes. Yeah.
Wait.
Fang.
Oh, who?
Fang
Wait,
and
really?
Jack. Fang and Jack. Back one.
Oh,
into
wait, back
shoulder.
one is 10 frames? Oh, it is. I thought it was 11. Oh god.
No.
Yeah, it's 10.
No. It's 10.
And
But back one.
Jack
is,
forward 2, yeah.
And
Right.
then Jack's forward 2, but forward 2 is minus 12.
Right.
So like Jack can't exactly freely throw it out there if the opponent is on point, right?
Right. I guess the argument can also be made to just make this harder to hit confirm 1-1. I think that would also be fine if it's basically harder to hit confirm. But then again, if you were sharp, that's not going to be a big deal.
You'd be surprised. I think in a tournament setting, it might actually be harder, potentially, because you have all the stress of that. But at the same time, like 1-1, 1 plus 2, 1, I think is the hardest hitting counter hit. It does even more damage than like Jack's 4-2 into 4-4-4 and Fang's back 1 into shoulder.
Yeah, I think it is. And especially if you get a wall, that shit is ridiculous. Because of Leroy's combo damage is already super high anyway. So
That's true.
yeah. The 1-1 is like the first move I would change. Maybe down 1 plus 2 would be the first move but 1-1 is, you see that move come out so often because it's so good. And
I mean, that's kind of like Geese's and Heihachi's down forward 1-1, right? Where you can kind of just like spam it out there.
yeah.
You got to be super sharp to duck that second quick high hit, but in this case, you can't even duck.
You
this
can't
because
duck it.
a
Yeah,
mid.
it's a mid.
Well, that's why I said. That's why I think that 1-1 should be a high, right?
Sure. That's fine. I'm okay with it being a mid, to be honest, but as long as they make the other changes as well.
Really? Then maybe Brian's 1-2 should be the second hit should be a mid instead of high. I would love for my 1-2 to second hit to be a mid so that I can at least get plus 4
I play
frames
Noctis.
on it.
I don't have a lot of good stuff, man. I just
But you just need one button.
True. All I asked for is Noctis' 1-2-2 to be plus 4 and hit. Is that so hard?
I think they stopped supporting Noctis.
No, I don't think they like Noctis.
They knew it was a mistake.
So the final things that I want to mention about the changes, these are minor. Back 2, the parry, they didn't really change it. Whatever, right? I want it to be slower to recover on whiff, and I also want it to be have a smaller parry window. And down forward 1, I want it to have a smaller hitbox. That's about it.
Are you talking about a vertical? Are you talking about a vertical hitbox?
Vertical
or a
hitbox,
horizontal?
yes. Yeah, vertical hitbox. Or horizontal as well. I mean, the last part of my proposed list of nerfs was nerf tracking on all moves.
Nerf tracking on all moves.
Yeah.
I think that's perfectly fair because a lot of characters, they have moves that you can step.
This guy, you can't step this guy. The only thing you can
no,
step is
you
down
have
1
to-
plus 2.
You have to commit to a hard ass sidewalk.
Sidewalk,
for
yeah.
A lot.
I saw so many people stepping the correct way against
They still get
Leroy,
clipped.
and they still get clipped by that down 4-1 every single time, which is so fucked up. I've never seen a down 4-1 that tracks that much. it's ridiculous.
It is
I
pretty
think.
ridiculous.
Yeah. So I want tracking nerfs on all moves, please. And the parry, if they don't change it, whatever. If they do, I just want it to be slower to recover and hard. It has to be a good read. You know, a lot of the times people just spam the parry and it works. And I also, so that's why I wanted to have a smaller parry window.
Well, it's a 20-frame window, right?
Is it? No. That's
Wait,
crazy.
what's the window? What? Come on, what is the window?
It's pretty big, but I don't know if it's 20 frames. That 20 frames is huge. Dude, Noctis's parry is so shitty.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It recovers so slow. And its parry window is not even that big as well. It's only like...
Where is this?
I think it's...
Where's this?
Yeah.
It's
It has to be
gotta
small. 20 frames is pretty big though, if it is actually 20 frames.
Oh, where is it? Where is it? Can I not find this? Yo, are you in the Leroy Discord?
No,
Leroy
why
Discord.
would I be in the Leroy Discord? I don't play that stupid character. Is there? Oh, there's already a Leroy Discord. Of course there is. Why
Of course, there's a Facom Rom Discord. How
What?
could you not have a Leroy? Yeah, get in that shit, man.
Unbelievable. People get on that shit so fast. Yeah, so that's about it for the changes. But I think what really ticked people off, and I don't know if this popped up in your Twitter timeline, but basically these patches were, someone went into like the freaking source code or whatever. They went Hackerman on that shit, and they saw that these notes were dated for like December of last year. And I think that really
yes, I believe I ran across that tweet at some point in time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that ticked a lot of people off. And look, it could mean that they already knew they were releasing a broken character. They probably did. But it could mean that, and they already had a list of nerfs that they wanted to do, or this could mean nothing at all. It could just be they added it as time went on. Who knows?
So there are two options in my opinion. Okay, so all right, these patch notes are dated back to December of last year.
Yep.
I think the most likely possibility, if we want to give, if we don't want to give Bandai Namco the benefit of the doubt,
Yeah,
then
they released the character they knew that was
and then
broken.
and then we throw them under the bus. Then the option that we have is they decided that at that time, look, we want to make our money. We're greedy fuckers. We want to make our money.
We'll release a
and
broken ass character.
we release a broken ass character. Everybody can get on board, mash some buttons, learn some janky B&Bs, and still deal 68 to 72 damage.
And then we'll nerf him later, you know? We've already gone.
And then we'll nerf them later. So if we want to go that route and throw them under the bus, that's the answer.
I don't think that's the case though.
Right. So the other option is they started looking at things that were broken that they wanted to fix. For instance, maybe they did start with characters like Leo, where they fixed an issue with the half part of the move, and then like they also were looking at Shaheen with the down 3 into down forward, the sneak stuff, all these other things. Maybe they started taking a look at all of this and they were slowly building upon it. Because I have a hard time believing that when you're trying to troubleshoot and bug fix, you're going to do it all in one day and all in one sitting, and you're going to find all the bugs and you're just going to be like, here's a list. That's pretty unlikely, right?
Yeah.
And also it's going to take time for people to provide them with feedback on Leroy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one. The other option that I have, if we want to give Bandai Namco the benefit of the doubt, is that yes, this was dated for that date, but maybe they didn't want to release the patch immediately. Maybe the Leroy stuff that we're seeing now is only part of the list, and they've gotten rid of a bunch of the other nerfs that maybe would have destroyed the character. Because let me put it this way: people don't really.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So let's say stuff like his Hell Sweep. Maybe they decided to nerf the damage by 50%. That would have killed Hell Sweep altogether, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, why would you ever do a Hell Sweep?
Useless move.
Yeah, useless move. So maybe they had more nerfs on Leroy and they decided to cut back on it. That's an option as well.
I don't think
That they
that's the
could have done.
case because they have other nerfs coming.
But
And
those could have been a part of the original batch of
oh,
nerfs.
maybe, yeah, maybe. I think what happened is just they made this like whatever document, right? And
Right.
then these patch notes, and then they just as time went on, they added stuff, and then they just released it, and people are like, oh, it's dated at this time, but I don't think they did that all in one go. You know,
No, there's no
so
way that you do it
yeah,
all then.
they didn't like type all of this shit out in like one sitting. I think they added it over time, which is why I think it means nothing that it's dated from December. And
The
yeah,
the other thing that I want to point out is that yes, the gamers know what the immediate experience is, but I kind of also don't like it when games immediately do a nerf on something without letting players. So let's say Leroy was released and then 5 days later Leroy's nerfed. That kind of feels not enough time for players to adjust to the character. You know?
right. So like it would destroy basically like the players who have been prepping for Evo Japan.
No, not even that. Like
Oh.
you want players to evolve, right? Because
Right.
there's certain things about characters that you don't know how to counter until you've labbed it enough. There's little hidden gems and things here and there. For instance, like which way to step, which way, like can you backdash this? Can you do this and that? I feel like 5 days is not enough time to properly adjust for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I also don't like it when games do that, where they release a character and then 5 days later they immediately nerf them. Now I think the
Right.
sweet spot is probably around the 2 week mark, something along those lines, because within about
Okay.
2 weeks there should be enough like tech and stuff to figure out if a character is broken or not, if there is going to be a counter of some sort.
Yep.
Because the counter can be as simple as play him at this distance. When you're in the mid range, you can sidewalk, sidestep, but when you're at range 0, you cannot sidewalk, sidestep. You just literally have to backdash your way out.
Right. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. The way they're doing this whole nerfing thing, I don't know if you like it or not, but some people are ticked off by it. But they're doing this slow nerf because like Michael Murray came out and said like, we are releasing there should be a nerf coming soon, right, in a few days, mid February, and then another one that's going to be a full character balance patch in before the tour starts, so probably around March or April, around that time. So they are slowly nerfing Leroy. They're going the slow route so people can slowly adapt to it. But some people just want to kill him now, you know? So I don't know which camp I fall under. To be honest, I'm okay with them slowly nerfing him because there's no real
agree.
big tournaments now. So it's not so bad. Sure, it's not as good for the player experience now because he's still a pretty strong broken character, you know? But
Right.
I think that they are thinking of it from from a mindset perspective. When let's say you main Leroy, right?
Right.
You have all these tools, and you suddenly strip him away all at once, which is
Yeah.
going to be quite painful because enough it hits twice as hard as a buff, right? And Leroy's not going to
Yeah.
get any buffs. You take
Yeah.
all of that away, and then it's going to be so hard to adapt already. So you need to give them that transition period to go from this broken ass character slowly to normalize him, rather than just strip him away. And all the Leroy players are like, "Shit, what do I do now?" Right? So
Go back to Akuma.
go back to a. That's Chikurin's already thinking that he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm going back." Yeah.
Well, this is I like your way of thinking about it as a method of slowly transitioning players into a harder nerf. The other way I would like for people to think about it is this. What if the second round of nerfs for Leroy is enough? What if it's actually enough, right? If you put out a giant nerf on Leroy to the
that's gonna
point
be
where he's
insane.
unplayable, then it sucks that you have to like, oh fuck, we call HQ. Fuck, we nerfed him way too hard. Now he's unplayable.
Yeah. Now nobody buys
Then
it.
that kind of feels bad because what you've basically done now is slaughtered a new original character
You went all the way
who
the
you're
other
going to
way.
bring, who you might want to bring back in Tekken 8, but nobody's going to want to like deal with that, and you're going to have, you'll be like, okay, well, I'm not going to play Leroy because, like, you know, they murdered him in
Yeah.
Tekken 7 at the end.
You're basically going all the way the other way.
Right.
Like,
I'd rather games slowly take little steps towards the right direction than a giant lunge towards that other side just to appease fans. Now, I know all the fans out there want to see Leroy nerfed to the ground because they're sick and tired of playing against him. They're sick and tired of getting parried every single time. They're sick and tired of being hell swept, not being able to do anything. They're sick and tired of getting hit by like down 1+2 into down 1+2, back 1+2, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, all of this is very, very clear. And, you know, I understand the pains too, because I tried playing rank and it was just not a very good experience.
imagine playing ranked LOL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like let's think about it from a developer point of view, right?
Right.
You have to keep the fans happy, but at the same time, sometimes fans are just reacting out of their sheer rage and emotion. Like
Yes.
you just
They're thinking
lost
in the
10-0.
moment. That's what's
Right.
happening.
You lost 10-0 against a Leroy online and you're like, fuck this character.
Yeah. I think the same about Chloe, and Chloe's not even that amazing of a character.
Oh, I love that matchup.
Oh yeah, you talk so much about how
I'm
much
the
you love-
only person who loves that matchup because I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
Because it was one of the first matchups that I labbed because
Right.
I had two players in the lobbies that I played at who played Lucky Chloe. By the way, shout outs to Haitake Kakashi. Thank you for your wonderful lobbies. Like like there was just two Chloes, and like if you didn't learn the matchup, and there was a 5-man lobby, you're just gonna get blown up 2 out of 5 players, and one of them being you. So you know, half of the time you're just gonna get blown up. So if you didn't know how to like deal with Cali roll spring kicks, you didn't know how to deal with the windmills and the sea chairs, like all this nonsense, you're just gonna get blown up every single time.
Yep. Yeah.
But
so-
Leroy is a much more solid character than Lucky
Oh
Chloe.
yeah. Oh hell yeah. Of course.
Yeah. Because you look at Lucky Chloe's lows and you're like, wow, these are some terrible ass lows.
She's got pretty terrible lows. Well, they gave her a good one now. It's pretty good. The
pretty
the
good
running
one.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm okay with the slow nerfs. I'm excited to see what the second nerf is gonna be. The second patch is gonna be coming in a few days. I hope. I think.
I'm curious to see what the third one's gonna be.
Or the third one. Yeah. Look, there's no way they are not nerfing the moves we talked about earlier. Like down 1+2, down back 3, 1, 1, and yeah, maybe back 2. I don't know. There's no way they're not touching those.
Yeah, there's no way there's not touching those.
I think everyone's been talking a lot about 1, 1 and down 1+2. So yeah, they're gonna have to touch those.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, look, Michael Murray came out and said so I'm gonna take his word for it. It's hard for me to see Michael Murray's tweet sometimes because he gets very sensitive sometimes on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, I would too. Like these guys pour their heart and soul. Like these guys,
true,
as much
true.
as
I understand that.
as much as the tournament players, as much as the community pours their heart and souls into this game, Michael Murray also pours his heart and soul into this game too, and
yeah,
I'm
he
sure,
does.
and Harada as well, right?
Of course.
Tekken 7 almost wasn't going to fucking happen because of the disaster of Tekken Tag 2.
Tekken Tag 2, yeah.
It was because of those two who literally went to Namco and pleaded with them and said, look, guys, we need to make a Tekken game and it's going to be the bum.
I can't
And-
believe people now are saying, like, let's go back to Tekken Tag 2. That game was better. No fucking way. That game is no way. I think that game is not as good as Tekken 7 Season 3. And but to be fair, I'm one of the few people who actually like Season 3. But, gee, the people that are saying, like, we should go back to Tekken Tag 2, that was actually a better game. I think the novelty is going to wear off very quickly once you start playing that game again.
Yeah, you don't like the fact that you get like comboed for like 10, 15 seconds. I was not doing anything.
That game is crazy. That shut a lot of people away. And I know Season 3 is also kind of doing the same. But I don't think we're at that level. I think people are overreacting. IMO. And look,
I actually think Season 3, what they need to do is or here's my suggestion. Tekken 8, reduce the damage of combos. Okay, like just take whatever
I'm okay with
amount
like the
of
season
combo
1
damage.
combo level, like combo damage level. Season 1 style.
You could do that, or you can technically pull it back a little bit more so it's more poke oriented.
I think now the damage is so high because everyone has good wall carry. Back then,
Yeah,
not
everybody
everyone.
is good. Yeah.
There's a few people who didn't really get any real wall carry changes. Like I guess Noctis didn't get any wall carry changes. Did Brian get any wall carry changes? No, right?
No, but it made his hard combos slightly easier to
Oh,
do.
right, yeah.
I mean, you
And
still have to time certain things. You have to time the dash after the triple spin kick, like 4-3-4.
oh, 4-3-4, yeah.
You still have to, yeah. So after 4-3-4, you still have to time the back three, but it's
Yeah.
a lot easier to do now.
I think
Before you
yeah,
had to be like a fucking Jedi in order to time it, or else you just miss it.
a lot
though I
of
still miss
characters
it.
now have such good wall carry, and a lot of them got buffs to certain moves that would potentially help their combo damage as well. Like Devil Jin, for example, got his back 2-1, which is now his highest damage combo ender if you can get it to scale properly. And
Right.
that shit does a whole lot of damage, and it's super painful to get hit by. But
King
but-
also has an easy mode now. You don't have to like do a triple jab into 4-4-1.
oh yeah, that new screw, yeah.
That's like a combo that like you need to get down at some point if you want to go for like max wall carry and shit.
Right.
But nowadays, like even then, I would say it was kind of a requirement in order to get King down, to be able to do that, to play at like an high intermediate level. But now you can kind of go for more easy stuff.
Yeah, you can go for easier stuff. King is hella good, by the way. I just have to say, King is super good.
I put King kind of in the mid tier. I put him in the
What?
mid-tier.
You're nuts.
Yeah. He's
King in
good,
mid-tier?
but at the same time, I feel like there's just other characters that do stuff better than he does.
Maybe.
Like, yes, his grab game is really good, but at the same time, if you play against an opponent who's very good at throw breaking, like it's
True.
it's kind of harder, right?
Right. Yeah. I actually think Devil Jin needs buffs, weirdly. I think Devil Jin's one of those characters that I feel like needs buffs. His combo damage is super low unless you get an electric. And electric is the only combo he can get that's high damage. Literally every other combo he gets is super low damage. His wall carry is whatever as well. It's not great, so yeah. So I don't expect a huge, like they say there's a major character balance patch coming in the before the tour starts. I translate that to some characters will have like 2 moves changed. You know, like I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. And the reason why I say that is because
it's not gonna be like a whole season 3.
yeah, no,
patch
and the reason why I say that is because they always phrase it that way, but I think it's just a translation thing. That's how they phrase it, but that's not what actually happens. Like this one, you know, they say it was gonna be a character balance patch, but look at Yoshimitsu got 1 move changed, Leo got 1 move changed, and most of these are just like bug fixes, you know.
Yoshimitsu's.
Yoshimitsu's one I saw.
It's a crazy
The range, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a huge balance patch. So that's
So
my thought.
I think you're right. I think people are gonna get like 2 moves changed, or maybe it could be as minor as a little bit of a frame data change, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a big deal.
No, I don't think so either.
Eh,
So what's the next topic that we have on the board?
we actually
So-
it's already been an hour, so we should probably do this topic pretty quickly. The next topic is gonna be the EVO 2020 lineup. What do you
Right.
think?
Okay.
What do you think?
Okay, Evil 2020 lineup. All right, let's see what's here. Street Fighter,
Not
Tekken,
surprised. Yeah, not surprised.
Super Smash Brothers,
Not surprised.
Under Night Inverse,
Also not
Eunice,
surprised.
Dragon Ball Z, Samurai Showdown,
Okay.
Soul Calibur 6,
Marvel
vs. Capcom
That's
2.
the one I was like, what? What is that
I
doing
know.
there?
I didn't realize also that this initially was a invite only tournament.
Wait, it is? Oh,
I think so. I think it's only top 8 qualifiers for this.
that's interesting.
There will only be 8 players, and they have to be, I think, past Evo champions or something.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. I didn't know that.
Well, that's why it's titled champions.
I see. Oh, tournament.
At least that's what I think it is.
Oh, I see.
Anybody listening to this podcast, if I'm not right, don't crucify me. All right.
So someone add him on Twitter. Hey, you said this wrong thing in the podcast.
You said this wrong.
Yeah. And then there's also obviously the Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, which just came out on PS4.
Oh, so you mean there's no Mortal Kombat 11?
I was very shocked.
That feels bad. You know why? Because all the other NRS games have had 2 years of Evo. Mortal Kombat 10, Injustice, 2. That was 2 years.
I think it's because Evo and NRS don't play well. From what I heard, like they don't like each other that much. Cause
really, so is
because
NRS gonna
NetherRealm
do their own
never
private
never
tournament?
gives them like reveals and whatnot like the other games. I think. So there's some politics involved. From what I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but yeah, they don't really like each other. So maybe that's why they cut them out.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty crazy not to include Mortal Kombat 11, even though I don't really like that game because I don't play it. And from what I've watched, I'm like, it's whatever. It's a Mortal Kombat game. But I'm pretty shocked. I feel like you could remove Dragon Ball FighterZ and put that in.
Oh, don't say that on this podcast.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
People are gonna fucking crucify you for that.
I mean, what else are you gonna remove? You know, you can't remove Street Fighter or Tekken or Smash.
You could not include Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. I mean, I honestly don't know
well, that's
much
a new
about
game.
this
You have
game.
to include the new game.
Okay, how about Marvel vs. Capcom?
Yeah, you
2
could probably take that out.
Champions?
Yeah, you could probably take that out.
I'm curious how many people will enter in this year to Samurai Showdown and Soul Calibur 6. I know
Samurai
there
had
is
quite
a
lot last year.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it had Samurai Showdown had like a lot of entrants last year, which was very surprising. And it seems like a lot of people like that game too. So maybe it'll do well. Soul Calibur 6, I'm not sure.
Okay, in your opinion, what are the games that you are not surprised by on that list?
On this list,
Not surprised.
Street Fighter, Tekken, Smash, Samurai Showdown, and Dragon Ball. Actually no, take away Dragon Ball Unist. I'm not surprised by those. I'm surprised Dragon Ball made it back in, to be honest. But I thought it wouldn't last another year after last year.
The ones that I'm not surprised by is Street Fighter 5, Tekken 7, Smash, Dragon Ball Z. I'm not surprised by because everybody fucking loves, some DBZ.
Sure.
And Unist did really well last year.
Yeah, Unist did really well.
I'm not surprised by that. The only two I'm surprised by that made it back was Soul Calibur 6 and Samurai Showdown. Those are the two that surprised me.
Right.
But then again, I don't really follow Samurai Showdown that much, and I also don't follow Soul Calibur that
I'm not
much either.
surprised that Soul Calibur made it in, but I'm just confused that it made it in over MK. That's all.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm surprised.
I feel like those
that's
two
the
could
reason,
be traded.
That's the reason why I'm so surprised by it.
I think Samurai Showdown coming in is not surprising for me. It did quite good numbers. It surprised everyone at how good numbers it did last year. So I'm not surprised. A lot of people seem to like that game. Yeah, so could be good.
You know what would actually be really cool for Evo? Every year, that center spot is a old game that was featured at some point in time.
Oh god, they're gonna put in like Street Fighter 2 or something. Third Strike or whatever. And then
I think that would be really cool. Or they could even
every
so often bring back maybe Melee, right?
I
Smash
feel like
Melee,
you have
'cause I
to
know
put
the
that as
Melee
a side
community.
tournament though. Can you do that as a main title?
I mean, they can do it with Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I don't see
Oh
why they
yeah,
can't do it with other games.
I keep forgetting about.
I mean,
this
you could say the
stupid
same
game.
thing. You could say that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 should just be a side tournament, but the fact that they're making it a main tournament.
That's unbelievable. That made it in, but not MK. I'm not even an MK player, and I'm mad about it.
The fact that this is a center game tournament also means that Evo 2020 is going to run shorter in terms of time, I think. Because you don't have a whole bracket of Mortal Kombat to run through.
Yeah,
You just
true.
have like top 8 players.
It's easy to run. I mean, look, the Smash guys are always late. So
Right?
it's okay if we have a shorter bracket, you know? People want to go home.
What was the biggest entered in tournament last year?
Smash.
Super Smash
It's
Brothers?
Smash, yeah. It's
Yeah.
easy. It's always Smash. There's no way it's not Smash.
It's always Smash?
It's always Smash. Smash had like a crazy number, and then followed by Street Fighter 5, and then very closely, like it was only like 50
Very close
people,
to Tekken 7.
like 50 people behind Tekken 7. Yeah, it was Tekken 7.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Tekken's growing every single year, so
Yeah, I
this
think
is
Street Fighter had.
This is a good trend.
I think Street Fighter didn't grow every single year. I think. Did it have lower numbers, like the year before or last year than the previous year? I don't remember. I don't think Street Fighter grew every single year, but I know Tekken 7 did grow every single year. Smash is always gonna stay on top, you know. That's not surprising.
That's because I think Smash is in two parts. One, they have really, really strong community building. And
Okay.
there's a lot of variety of tournaments being held everywhere.
Right.
And the coverage that they have, and I think it's because the community has to be so good about it, because Nintendo doesn't really support too many of these tournaments, right?
Man,
yeah,
but whoever won Evo Japan, man, that sucks for him. He only got a freaking pro controller or whatever.
wait, seriously?
You didn't
Is
know?
that all you...
The prize for winning Evo Japan Smash was like some special gold controller with the Smash logo on it.
Wow.
That was no prize money.
Dude, I could go to China and probably get that for you. I was like, you see this picture? You see this picture? I want you to make 100 of these, just like this one.
It was so sad because like he worked so hard for a controller. I saw Leffen talking shit about it on Twitter. Of course he was talking shit about it on Twitter, but man, that shit was funny as hell. I can't believe that was the prize. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, it happens, man.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'm okay with the lineup. I just think it's weird not having MK. That's about it. I think that's what everyone feels, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
It's pretty whatever. I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited, of course, but only for Tekken.
Are you gonna go to Evo this year?
Fuck no.
No.
I'm probably never gonna.
Oh,
go
that's
to
right.
Evo.
You're gonna be in the military, right? So you're not gonna have time to.
Yes, but I actually don't know when. I just think it's too expensive for me to go. It doesn't make sense.
How much does it cost for you to go?
I-
Just for a plane ticket?
For a plane ticket? Ooh, it depends on what plane I take. Like, and not only
Like a regular international plane, not like a build yourself a plane.
no, like I mean, it depends on the airline. You know, you could take like a budget airline, or you could take like Singapore Airlines, which is nice.
I guarantee you, any airline you have is going to be better than the American Spirit airline.
What the fuck is that? I've only heard of like
See,
JetBlue.
exactly. You don't know
Oh.
what the fuck that is. Basically, what it is, hey, do you want to cut costs on this flight? Then ride Spirit. You don't even.
So
you
it's
have
the
to even
American
pay
budget airline.
It is. They basically strip you of everything, so you have to pay for everything, right? You carry
What?
on, you got to pay for that.
Oh,
check-in.
that's
you
how
gotta
they
pay
make
for
their
that.
money.
And-
What?
Mhm.
Oh, interesting. Nice.
And their little trays that fold out. Their little trays that fold out from the seats. Yeah, they're not even actual real trays. It's just scrap pieces of fucking metal that just fold down.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't want to take that. But
No.
yeah, I'm not gonna go to Evo. I would love to, but well, one, US is not really a place I would like to go, and secondly, it's just costly.
Oh, I'm a little hurt by
Oh.
that one.
Look, man, I just have more places I'd like to go to. You know, I wanna go to Japan.
Well, look, you can keep your coronaviruses over
Oh,
there. 'Cause
shit.
We don't want you either.
Look, man, the first foreigner that died is American. All right, don't come with me on that. Yeah. So, yeah. I would love to go to Evo, but probably not. I mean, definitely not. What the hell am I saying? Yeah, I'm not going. Hell no. Are you going?
I think it's always worth it, at least. Not this year, probably. Not in 2020.
How far away are
I
you
just have
from Las Vegas? You live in?
I'm like 3 time zones away from Las Vegas.
Oh, jeez.
So it's gonna be at least, I want to say, like a 8-hour flight.
Oh shit.
It's gonna be at least an 8-hour flight, and then on top of that, I would have to pay for hotels and stuff. Like the
Yeah.
hotels at Vegas is actually pretty cheap for the most part. I remember going, I think 2 years ago. I think 2 years ago I went to Evo, and it was really cheap on the day I arrived. So I arrived on a Wednesday. So the tournaments and stuff start on what, Friday? Or is
Friday I think it's Friday. Friday or Saturday.
Yeah. So I wanted to arrive 2 days in advance so I could just start playing like friendlies with people
casuals.
and get some games in. Yeah. So I arrived on a Wednesday. I remember my hotel being $40 on Wednesday.
What?
And then
That's
$30,
crazy cheap.
like 30 or $40 on Wednesday,
That's
and then it was like 50 something dollars on a Thursday, and then it shot up to like $100 on Friday, and then 100
Wow.
something on Saturday, and 100 something on Sunday.
Nice.
So
Interesting.
like the weekends is where the prices shoot
Of
up.
course, yeah.
Not
That's when everyone
not
comes in.
surprisingly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you don't gamble, then you can save quite a bit of money. Food is pretty expensive. Water is fucking expensive. If you want a bottle of water at the hotel, good luck. $5 for bottled water.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think if I were just to ever go to a US tournament, it would have to be Combo Breaker. Like, there's no way I could not not go to Combo Breaker. That tournament looks hype as hell, man.
What about CEO? That shit's held in a fucking
CEO is
wrestling
cool,
ring?
but I think Combo Breaker, the entirety of last year, my favorite tournament to watch was Combo Breaker. So, Combo Breaker is the one I would love to go to. You know,
Word.
Combo Breaker is pretty sick. Evo is like, it's cool, but yeah. It doesn't have the homey feel, man. Come on.
No, I get you. I understand what you mean. It's like too big and corporate in a sense, the Evo thing. Yeah.
All right. That's
All
it for
right,
the
so
first
we
episode. We should
are-
wrap it up.
Yeah,
Holy
we
sh-
should definitely wrap this up.
We should. Okay, what do you want to plug? Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, I just hope that everybody who joined us for this first podcast of Back to the Lab is really enjoying it. Please leave us, both of us, myself, Peter Y. Mao. You can leave me any sort of comment on this video. I'm open to any suggestions.
Yeah.
And Keith?
And same thing for me. If you want to tell me anything, you can just leave a comment, or you can also join either one of our Discord servers. It will be in the descriptions of the videos, and you can just tell us anything that you want, anything you think about the podcast, any of your thoughts. It'll be fine. Follow us on Twitter. Twitter is where we're at. It's pretty good. And yeah, that's about it. If you're listening on an audio platform, thanks for listening. Hopefully this was good on your commute. And the links to the won't be in the show notes because of the way the audio platforms work. It's kind of hard to have links on there. But you can just go check out the. You can just go check it out on the video version as well in the description of it, and you can find us there. But yeah.
Yeah, I know that like you can't do the links on Spotify, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks
All
everyone
right.
for
Well,
listening.
thank
man.
you, everybody.
Thanks for listening.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.